signings only from the summer of 2024. So I thought it'd be a good idea. We did this last season where we would create a team and a bench full of only players who have joined new clubs this summer, and I give my favourite and best signings from across Europe, essentially in each position. Now, I must stress that this is the best signing and my favourite signings, not necessarily the best player who has moved in that position. It's more about the signing and how I like it. So yeah, let me know anybody I've missed who you think should be in this team, because there is probably some which I have completely forgot about, so definitely get in the comments below anybody you think I've missed who should be in this team, and let me know your full 11s, your starting 11s. If you think my team's good, then please do let me know as well. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now we are going to make a slight adjustment to the formation. We are going to play a 4-3-3, but we're going to have a holding team and then two 8s next to it. So let's begin with the goalkeeper. Now, goalkeeper, I actually think this year for goalkeepers was kind of quiet. Like, not too many big goalkeepers move. Like David Raya, I could have gone for him, but I mean, that move is kind of already done. Aaron Ramsdale, De Gea, I guess, joined Fiorentina. There's another one which we will talk about later, but yeah, there wasn't really too many except one which I think is kind of under the radar, and that is Michel Di Gregorio. Di Gregorio has joined Juventus from Monza. So I really like this signing. He was Di Gregorio, one of the best keepers in Serie A last season, and I mean, statistically, in terms of pure shot stopping, he was the best. I think he prevented the most XG out of any goalkeeper in Serie A last season. He was superb for Monza, and Juve have managed to pick him up for pretty cheap fee as well, only around £18 million for a really good goalkeeper. That's good business in my opinion. He started life at Juve pretty well. I actually don't think he's conceded a goal so far. He might have actually conceded one, but either way he's got 2 clean sheets. I definitely know that in 3 games. Replacing Wojciech Szczesny, who I believe has actually retired from football altogether, which was a little bit sad to see, because Szczesny, I mean, he's not a legend of the game, but he was a bit of a, I guess a cult hero, is a good servant to the game. But yeah, Di Gregorio, big shoes to fill, but I think he's going to fill them and do better than Szczesny. I think they've got an upgrading goal, and for a pretty decent fee, so I'm going for Di Gregorio in goal in my team. Over at right back, one name really I had to go for, and that is Luciano Gertschluder. Guy's a really nice name for ASMR. But yeah, Gertrude I have gone for. So he has gone from Feyenoord to RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig, now this was, I believe, a deadline day deal. It was very late in the window. Leipzig were not going to sign him, but Mohamed Simakan left late on to go to Saudi, and he was a replacement. I actually believe they've got an upgrade. Gertrude is somebody who, if you've watched some of my one player every club should sign videos, I've mentioned him quite a few times. I think a couple of years ago I mentioned him for Arsenal. This year I mentioned him for Aston Villa. So the fact that he's gone to Leipzig now, he was due a big move. I think that's a perfect move for him, absolutely perfect move for him. We all know so many good players go to Leipzig and really take their game up a notch. They're very good at developing those younger players. Gertrude is young, but not like a teenager. He still has room to grow, but is experienced and good enough to really thrive, and I think it's going to be a fantastic player for them, and I really wouldn't be surprised if he gets sold on for a decent fee. But yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody else went in for him, and what a signing that is for RB Leipzig. struggle a little bit here, but I've gone for somebody who maybe isn't a traditional left back, but it's Nusa Mazraoui. Yeah, Bayern Munich to Man United, a bit more high profile than these two signings. Look, United, their business has been a bit mixed this summer, but one thing I will say is I'm a big fan of Nusa Mazraoui. I always struggle to say his name for some reason, but yeah. I really like him as a player. I liked him at Ajax when he joined Bayern. I thought he was going to do really well. He didn't do too bad, to be honest. He just had some injury issues. But yeah, I think for the fee they got him for, I think it was only around like 15 million, which is, I think, a big bargain. He's somebody who's capable of playing at left back or playing at right back. He's been chucked straight into the team, and he's actually done pretty decent, I think, in the first 3 games. He's been pretty solid for United. I think he's going to provide great depth at right back or left back. He's a really solid player, and I think for that fee, is a good signing. Good age as well. Yeah, I like this signing a lot. A really handy player to have, and a really solid player. Okay, left centre back. We have Ruben Lenormand, who's gone from Real Sociedad to Atletico Madrid. Yeah, this was a move which I really like. An absolutely incredible signing by Atletico Madrid, who have made some really good and interesting signings this summer. But Lenormand, we all saw at the Euros just how good this guy was, starting at the Euros for Spain as they won the tournament. Him and Laporte at the back together were just absolutely incredible, absolutely superb. And yet Lenormand showed in that tournament that he is more than capable of playing at the highest level. He has finally made that move out of Real Sociedad off the back of that to Atletico Madrid, where I think he's going to thrive. I think he's really going to thrive. We know Diego Simeone does really well with defenders, improves them a lot, and I think Lenormand is going to do fantastic under Simeone. They needed another centre back, I think. With a lot of their centre backs, I feel like they've just had the same centre back for years. You know, like Jimenez has been there for how long? I don't know. So yeah, Lenormand coming in there, I think it's going to refresh it. It's going to be their best centre back, best defender, I think, and it's going to be really good for Atletico Madrid. And they didn't even get him for that big a fee. I think it's only like 30 million, which is pretty good for a player of his quality. La Liga experience as well. So yeah, love that signing. Next to him, I was kind of struggling, but I've gone for. Wait. Okay. I don't think he's on Ultimate Team. Oh no, this has put my thing in deep trouble. Yeah, he's not on Ultimate Team. Oh god. Okay. Well, I just put someone else in here. Is sure this guy. So the player was Dean Huijsen from Juventus to Bournemouth. I really like that signing. I don't know why, but he's not on our team. He was on loan at Roma last season, so I don't know why he's not there, unless I've just completely butchered his spelling of his name. But yeah, Dean Huijsen was my other centre back. 19 years old, joined Bournemouth, only around 15 million, which I think is a really cheap fee for a player who has a lot of potential coming out of that Juventus academy. A lot of people have been talking about him as, you know, going to be a future centre back for Juve. They sold him on to Bournemouth, which I think is a big up for them. You know, he doesn't have to get thrusted straight in. They got Senesi and Zabanya, who are perfectly fine, but I think over time Huijsen will develop into the starting centre back, and I could generally see him being sold on for a big fee because he looks so good. Just in the limited minutes he's got so far, he's already been really good. So yeah, I really like that signing. Yeah, just ignore this guy. But that's Dean Huijsen. Okay, midfield now. I'll tell you what, there was a lot of good midfielders. A lot of good midfielders have joined this summer clubs, and I'm gonna go for in my DM role, Goop minus Dean Goop minus. Now I could have actually gone for loads of Juve midfielders. I could have gone for is just Bella Vando's guys. He cost a bit more, but he is super, super good. Super good. I've liked this guy since his days from Maze at Alkmaar. Since he joined Atalanta as well. Absolutely fantastic player. Done so well for them. Last season in particular was immense. Helping Atalanta win the Europa League was crucial to that victory. He's just a complete midfielder, can play in this deeper role as a holding midfielder, can play as an 8, can even play as a number 10. He can play all over the midfield. He contributes goals, he contributes assists, he's great at set pieces, he's good defensively, he's got great passing range. He can do it all in my opinion. I really like Goop Miners as a player. He's got Serie A experience, he's a pretty decent age, I think he's only like 26, 27 still, so it's not like he's old. Yeah, I think it's going to do absolutely fantastic at Juve, and I think they've got a fantastic midfielder on their hands. Excited to see how he does at Juve. Alongside him in the midfield, we're going to go for Conor Gallagher. I have no idea how he's not a 94 rated card, by the way, but still. Conor Gallagher, the second Atleti player in the team. Yeah, Conor Gallagher for me. Look, I wasn't necessarily the biggest Conor Gallagher fan in terms of at Chelsea. I've been pretty open about it. I feel like, a lot of people sort of hyped him up a bit too much, but what I will say is that Gallagher was fantastic last season. He was one of our best players, and he is a very useful player in the right system. And that's why I've included him here, because I think Atleti is the right system for him. In that Simeone system, Gallagher's a workhorse, Gallagher's a runner, he's a great sort of box-to-box midfielder, gets up and down the pitch, will contribute with some goals here and there. Great presser, great defensively. And I think in that Simeone system, it's just going to absolutely thrive. I think it'll take a little bit of time for him to adapt, to adjust, living in a new country. But I think over time, Gallagher is going to prove to be a fantastic signing for Atletico Madrid. I think he's going to love it there. I think Simeone is going to absolutely adore him. He's going to become a key player for them. And yeah, I do wish Gallagher all the best. Obviously, as a Chelsea fan, it is nice to see a Chelsea Academy graduate go on to do big things. So I wish Gallagher the best, and I think he's going to do very well at Atletico Madrid in Matt Simeone's system. Completing the midfield, and I'll tell you what, this is a really nice midfield once this guy goes in, and that is none other than Ilkay Gundogan. Barcelona to Manchester City, returned to Man City on a free transfer, which is just unreal business. Getting, one of their former captains, a player who was so good for them, on a free transfer is just unreal. And let's not forget, Man City actually didn't necessarily want to get rid of him in the first place. I think it was more so Gundogan wanted that new challenge, wanted to try something new, decided to leave, went to Barca, and people forget he was actually really good at Barcelona. He was really good. I mean, look at here, he's got a team season card, right? That doesn't really say too much, but still, he was good at Barca. He was perfectly fine. Didn't really get any worse, didn't decline. Returned to Man City. They've got basically the exact same player, I would say. Gonna fit right into the system again. And yeah, they needed another midfielder, I would say. Kovacic, Nunes came in, didn't really replace Gundogan that well, and now they've just brought back Gundogan. So yeah, just strengthens their title credentials even more. I think he's gonna absolutely kill it at Man City. Okay, right wing. We have Michael Elise, Crystal Palace to Bayern Munich. Yeah, I mean Elise, this one happened really early on, but I almost forgot about it. To be honest, I almost forgot when I was building this team that this happened. But what a signing it was. It kind of came out of nowhere because Elise was heavily linked to a lot of the Premier League clubs. I think Chelsea, United, Newcastle were very interested in him. And then all of a sudden Bayern Munich concerned, he's now a Bayern Munich player. And I think this is a perfect move. I really like this from a Bayern perspective because they get Elise, who is one of the best up-and-coming young forwards, I think, in Europe right now. He was superb for Palace. Injuries is a bit of a concern, but at his age, that's fine. I would say, that's something that he can work on at Bayern Munich. When he is fully fit though and firing, Elise is absolutely incredible. A fantastic player. As I said, one of the most exciting youngsters in Europe. So good. They got him for a pretty good fee. It was only around 40 million-ish. So yeah, really good transfer. Will give some depth out on that wide areas. I think they did need another one with Gnabry, Coman always injured. Gnabry and Coman really the only traditional wingers they have, with Musiala potentially playing there as well. So Elise comes in, provides that depth, and if he can do well and live up to his potential, then Bayern have potentially one of the best wingers out there. If he can blossom at Bayern. On the other wing, we have Savio, Shalona to Manchester City. Little Manchester City duo here, the second Manchester City player. And yeah, look, I'm not going to talk too much about this because I feel like I've talked a lot about this transfer already. I spoke about it in my ranking every Premier League transfer video. So yeah, I'm not going to go into too much depth, but look, as soon as his transfer happened, I knew it was going to be an amazing signing because Savio was just unreal for Girona last season. So good, so direct, so fast, so skillful, just amazing dribbler, such a good creator as well. And I was like, yeah, he's going into that Manchester City team and just going to absolutely light it up. Can play either wing as well, left wing or right wing. Got him for such a cheap fee. Honestly, I don't see any problems with this, and yeah, it might prove to be one of the best bargains of the summer. Okay, in at striker, I think this guy is on FIFA, on my team. Yes, he is. Okay, Yusufa Moukoko, Borussia Dortmund to Nice. That is my striker. Now, Moukoko, a couple years ago, was deemed as, the German wonder kid. Going to be the next great German number 9. I think he featured for Germany at the 2022 World Cup when he was only like 18, 17. Absolutely sensational. As a teenager, people thought he was going to be the best striker in the world. It hasn't really worked out. He hasn't really been given the game time at Borussia Dortmund. I don't really know why, to be honest. They've signed Haller, Fulklug, these sort of old guys, Jurassi, instead of giving Moukoko a chance up top, which I think is really strange. So he has now decided to leave, and he's gone on loan with, I think, an option or a mandatory option to buy to Nice in France, and I think this is perfect for him. We've seen so many good young players go to France and thrive. It's a great place to develop as a young player. It's a good league to develop, and when you join one of the better sides as well in Nice, that's a fantastic move. Moukoko, as I said, currently I guess is sort of a failed wonder kid, but he's still super young. That's how young he was when he broke onto the scene. I think he's still only like 19, which is mad. So he's got plenty of time to redeem himself, get his career back on track. I think he's going to do just that at Nice. As I said, Ligue 1 is a great place to do that, and I think at Nice is going to really thrive in Ligue 1 and get his career back on track and become once again one of the most talked about young strikers in the world. Right, let's go on to the bench then. Players who didn't quite make the team, but I also really like Georgi Mamadashvili. That was the other goalkeeper I was on about to Liverpool. Now I didn't include this because I kind of felt like cheating because he is not technically in the side yet, right? Like he's joined from Valencia to Liverpool, and then is on loan at Valencia yet again. The signing really came out of nowhere, but what an incredible signing that is in terms of a long term for Liverpool, because Mamadashvili is a superb goalkeeper. We all saw what he did at the Euros. He was absolutely sensational. Yeah, in the long term, it's going to be the Ed Allison, and it's going to be a great good signing. Next up, we have Sorry, I don't want to spell the rest of his name because I didn't exactly know how to spell it. Ferdi Kadiology, Fenerbahce to Brighton Hove Albion. This is a signing which was actually recommended to me by one of my members I put in this video, Luke, so thank you, Luke. And I think it's a great suggestion because Kadiology, similar to Mahmoud really, was superb at the Euros for Turkey, absolutely superb. I think it's a great left back. A lot of clubs were linked with him. So the fact that Brighton have managed to snap him up is absolutely superb business from them. And yeah, I think he's going to do really, really well at Brighton. And I think he'll suit their system really, really nicely. Next up, we might as well get the Brighton boys out of the way. I got another Brighton player. That's Mats Viva. And ironically another Dutch DM, like Goop minded, but yeah, Mats Viva. I was shocked that Brighton managed to get him because he was so good for Feyenoord last season. As a DM, as an 8, is still kind of young, and I truly believe this guy's going to get sold on for some big money by Brighton. I think this is another gem discovered by Brighton, and it really shouldn't have been a gem because he was really good for Feyenoord last season. So yeah, I think FIFA is going to be absolutely superb for Brighton. He started off pretty decent as well. Next up, we have another DM, and that's Youssef Fofana. He's gone from Monaco to AC Milan. Now Fofana is somebody who has really been tipped to make a move out of Monaco for a long time. He was sort of the heir to Tchouaméni at Monaco. He's been superb at Monaco for a while. A couple of summers has been linked to teams. This summer with 1 year left on his deal, many clubs were interested. Man United were also interested as an alternative to Agate. They didn't get the deal done though, and he's now gone to AC Milan, which I think is a superb deal. Bolstering up that midfield for them. It was a pretty cheap fee as well. Fofana is still kind of young. France international, went to the Euros with France as well. I think he went to the last World Cup as well for France. Really, really nice player. Still fairly young, so can develop into a really, really high quality midfielder as well. And yeah, I think in that midfield, with Loftus-Cheek and Linders, it's going to be absolutely superb for Milan. Next up, we have S-I-M. Oh, Xavi Simons, who has gone from PSG back to RB Leipzig on another loan. He was on loan there last season and he has returned there on loan, and I mean what a signing that is for Leipzig to retain Simons. I thought after his loan he was almost guaranteed to go back to PSG as a regular starter or leave for a bigger club. Bayern Munich were heavily interested in him, but he has returned to RB Leipzig, which is huge for Leipzig because he was probably him or Openda their best player last season. So to go ahead and retain him for another year is just superb, absolutely superb for Leipzig, and he's going to be really, really crucial to them once again, you would assume. Next up, we have Eli White, who has gone from Lens to Marseille. Eli White. Now White, before his move to Lens, I can't remember who was he at before. I think it was Montpellier. Yeah, I think it was Montpellier. He was linked with, I think, Chelsea and quite a few big clubs because he had a sensational season in Ligue 1. I think he was only behind Kylian Mbappe in the Golden Boot race and only like 19-20. He then went to Lens, didn't necessarily have the best season, not the best season at Lens, but he has now gone to Marseille with a chance to redeem himself, and I think he's going to really bang. He's still really young. I think he's around 21, 22. I think Eli White is going to do fantastic in that Marseille team under De Zerbi. We all know he loves attacking players and gets the best out of a lot of attackers. So yeah, I think White's going to rediscover himself as one of the best up and coming strikers in France. Next player is a bit more of a known one. Spelled his name wrong. There we go. Federico Chiesa. Juventus to Liverpool. I mean, we all know about this. So the main reason this is in here because it's a bargain. It's a bargain, isn't it? What, 10-12 million pounds for a Euro winner for a player who a few years ago was tipped as one of the best wingers out there. Tipped for £80 million moves to some of the biggest clubs in the world. Yeah, that is crazy. That's crazy business. For that type of price, it's absolutely unreal. It's so low risk. And yeah, you know, if they can get him back to that form, then this is going to be one of the biggest bargains of the century. Next up, we have. I don't think this guy's on here. I don't think he's on here. Yeah, he's not. So we're just gonna go for you because you have a similar name. It's Samu Omarodion, Atletico Madrid to Porto. Now, Omarodion was heavily linked and involved on the verge of joining Chelsea. You might remember it didn't happen as part of that Gallagher deal, but he has gone to Porto instead, and I think that is a perfect move. Now, I didn't want him at Chelsea because I didn't want another young striker, but I think going to Porto is sort of a perfect breeding ground for a young striker. You know, think of someone like Victor Gyökeres who has gone there and just absolutely tore it apart. I think Omarodion could do the same thing. He's super highly rated as a striker, and yeah, I think Porto is going to be a great place for him, replacing Evan Nilsson. I think he's going to do absolutely fantastic there. Next up, we have Matthias Sule, who has gone from Juventus to Loma. Now, Sule was on loan at Frosinone last season and absolutely superb. And I think a lot of us assumed he was going to go back to Juve and, you know, play a role in their team. They decided to sell him for financial reasons to fund other moves. I think they're going to live to regret that one because Sule looked really good for Frosinone, and I think he's going to be fantastic for Roma. You know, him, Dovvik, Dybala, I think they got some really nice attackers now. I think Sule is young, gonna turn into a really good player for them. Didn't cost too much, it was only like 20-25 million as well. So yeah, to take one of the best youngsters from your rivals, from a Roman perspective, that is a absolutely fantastic deal. Next up, we have where is he? There he is. Alex Garcia, Girona to Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, absolutely fantastic deal. Only around £15 million, I think, which is such a cheap deal for Leverkusen, signing one of the best midfielders last season in La Liga. Alex Garcia was crucial to Girona's success last season. Absolutely fantastic player. Spanish international as well now, and I think he's going to be a perfect depth option for them. Don't think he starts for them, but I think, you know, as a replacement for, you know, a Xhaka, as they're in the Champions League, they might need to rotate a little bit more now. Someone like a Xhaka gets rotated for Alex Garcia, the level's not getting dropped at all, because Garcia is an absolutely superb player, and I think under that Xabi Alonso system is going to be insane. Next up, we have a big name on, the biggest name, Julian Alvarez. Oh, look at that, we got the perfect one. He's got his actual Atletico Madrid card here. Manchester City to Atletico Madrid. This actually might be the biggest transfer of the window. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, by the way, you probably noticed, Kylian Mbappe is excluded from this. Just felt like cheating because it was so obviously going to be here. Yeah, Mbappe's not in this list. Anyway, Julian Alvarez, I think, is the most expensive transfer for window. Now, besides the transfer, I think the Atletico Madrid have slightly overpaid for him. it's incredible business though to sign Julian Alvarez. I think most clubs around the world would have taken Alvarez if the price was a little bit lower. Like, Alvarez is one of the best young strikers in the world. Actually, he's one of the best strikers in the world, in my opinion. You know, what he did at the World Cup, absolutely superb. What he did last season as well for Manchester City was really underrated, I thought. I thought he was really good for Manchester City. He played quite a few games as well last season. So yeah, I think Alvarez is superb. He can play in multiple positions. I also think suits that Atleti system really well. He's really hard working, great presser. Yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic for Atletico Madrid. I think they have slightly overpaid, but that's why he's on the bench, not starting. And the final one, I don't think he's on the game either. Don't think he's on the game as well either. This is a fun one. Let's just go for him, sure. But it's James Rodriguez. James Rodriguez has gone to Raul Vallecano in La Liga. James Rodriguez is returning to European football, and I'm so excited to see it. We all saw at the Copa America just how good he was. He was absolutely sensational. Rolled back to years, showed that he still has it, and I can't wait to see him back in Europe, going in La Liga. Hopefully he can translate that form into club football. I mean, what a coup for Raul Vallecano, by the way, but yeah. It'll be so cool to see James Rodriguez thriving at Raul Vallecano in La Liga. But there we go, that is my best team of summer signings. So we got in goal, Di Gregorio, right back Gertruda, centre backs Dean Newton, Ruben Lamont, left back Mazraoui, midfield of Dean Goop minus Ilko Gundogan and Conor Gallagher, and the front three of Michael Elise, Youthful Makoko and Savinho. On the bench we've got Mamadashvili, Gadi Oloju, Mats Viva, Fafana, Xavi Simons, Eliwai, Federico Chiesa, Samuel Omarodion, Mateus Sula, Alexei Garcia, Julian Alvarez and James Rodriguez. Let me know who I missed from this team and if you agree with my selections. But if you guys have enjoyed this video,